thank you all for coming. Appreciate that. Thank you. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and all living organisms that came to see this. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So this is going to be life lessons. I'm going to teach you all some life lessons. I think that'll come in handy, stuff that I've learned over the years and everything. You know? And, okay. So, I'll start out with this. Dad jokes. Yeah. I get told I say a lot of dad jokes. And you know what? That's kind of funny because I've only ever told one. And the only one I ever told, it was funny, I have a shirt. It says dad joke loading. And it shows the loading bar on the shirt. And it's like almost there, but not there yet or whatever. And I walked by someone one day and they said, oh no. Please, no dad jokes. And I looked at her and I said, oh, don't worry. I don't have a dad joke. And then she looked relieved. And then I turned back around and I said, get it? Because it's never going to be done loading. So I just told you a dad joke. Get it? Like the shirt. Oh, man. It went over well better with you guys. Oh, man. Do you ever say the wrong thing accidentally and it doesn't always go over well? I'll give you an example. You know how you're in a group of people, whether it's work or something, usually work, and it's like, hey, did you know that it's Jesse's birthday? And then you're like, oh, okay, and then you go up to be nice and you're like, hey, congratulations. And then it's like, oh, wait, I shouldn't have said that. That's not the right thing. And then she's all really mad and she's like, you idiot. You didn't realize I get a birthday every year, huh? And then I have to just, I figure the way out of this situation, you just got to make it worse. You got to keep saying the wrong types of things. And then it seems to not look like a mistake at all. And you can play it off like it wasn't a mistake. Like as if you meant to say congratulations for your birthday. So then you just make it worse and I say, hey, you'll understand it when you're younger. And there's nothing that can top that. So once you say something like that, yeah, it's kind of goes over well. So there's always a way out of it. That's the lesson to take. All right, another thing you definitely got to learn, you can learn this from me, maturing. Okay, we all got to go through this. We all got to learn to mature ourselves. It's easier said than done, easier for others than it is for some, but I'll give you an example. We had this thing, it was Employee Appreciation Day, and I was really excited. This was cool because we were going to get free food. We got to stop working for 10 minutes and stuff, so it was just fun all over the place. I mean, it was a ball. It was fantastic. It was sublime, grandiose, perfect, and whatever words that are adjectives I can use. And so what was nice is, so we got a little tiny bottle of water. It was like a baby bottle size, really small. But I was told we got a sandwich too. I was like, ooh, sweet. So I looked, and I'm like, oh man, that's small. I'm like, what is that, half a foot? And no, it was only 5 inches. And I'm like, oh, that's an odd number. 5, not a prime number either. But what I was hoping is, that it would just be a normal size sandwich. Anyway, here's my point. Okay, I'm getting a little off topic. I apologize. So, me and my partner on my machine at work. So, I grabbed my tiny bottle of water and my tiny little half sandwich thing. Okay, and it was a good sandwich. Okay, so I go back to work and get going for the day. My partner comes back and he's like, oh man, I didn't even think about it, but I wasn't really hungry at all. So I could have just grabbed you my half of the sandwich and just gave it to you, but I didn't even think about it. And I got so mad. I mean, I didn't let him have it or anything. I wasn't rude, I was okay, but I'm telling you, I was so mad. I hated this guy for weeks. I was so upset. I'm like, really? I'm like, why wouldn't you bring me the sandwich so I could have at least a normal size 10-inch sandwich, I guess. And they're so good. The sandwiches were delicious. And the fact of, why would you even tell only that, like, they mark our name down as soon as we take it, so we can't go back for seconds. And yeah, I've tried that before. But you could have just not told me at all, and then I wouldn't be mad. I would have nothing to be upset about because I didn't know about it, that you were going to plan on doing that nice gesture. So, anyways, I was telling this story, and you know what I was told? I was told, okay, Adam, really? You didn't talk to him for weeks and you hold on to this grudge for this long? I said, that's just immature. And that's the thing. I agree. It is immature because a mature person would have remembered to grab my sandwich and bring it to me. Am I right? I know, I'm saying. All right. Well, another thing I can say is, learn to read a map. Learn directions, because otherwise, your senses can do weird things to you. Okay, I can only speak on behalf of myself, but see, here's the thing. When you're fat, this is how you know you're fat, okay? You know you're fat when you have to describe nearby restaurants as directions. See, fat people like me, that's how we find places. And the thing with me is I go from being skinny to fat, okay? When I'm fat, I have to describe somewhere by an address that is a restaurant. Any other address is not going to help. So, like, for example, if you tell me, oh, you got to go to the side of the post office, it's right next door to you. I'm going to go, huh? And I'm like, hello, like, it's right next to the bank. And I'll go, huh? The bank? Your bank, Adam. It's right next to your bank, the one you bank at in your city. There's one bank in the city. It's next door to that. I'm sorry, but you lost me. Okay, it's across the street from the fast food restaurant there. Oh, yeah, I'm gone. I'm out. And I got it. I'll run away. I totally know where I'm going now. This is how it works. That's how you know you're getting fat. Now, see, the thing is, it's impossible for me to get lost in America because America wants you to be fat. There is like one restaurant minimum every 2 square miles or something, so I can find anything. I mean, easy. It's not even a challenge. No, but like I said, I switch from being skinny and being fat. So the moment I go back to being skinny, it's really funny because it's really peculiar. All of a sudden, I can recall where the post office is, where the bank is, and all these other landmarks that were mentioned earlier. It's like they're back to me. Boom. They're in my stream of consciousness. But not restaurants all of a sudden. They get blurry to me, and it's like, oh, what? Can't figure that out. That's just how it goes. I mean, but it's really awesome, being skinny. Then it's great because I can get one time I was given a vague description of where a buried treasure was from a very famous pirate. And it was just that it was in the Eastern Hemisphere. It was next to a few green rocks and some brown dirt. And I found it. I found the treasure myself, alone. So it's really awesome. I mean, that's how you gotta learn to figure out your sense of direction. And believe me, nice things can happen. I mean, I found a buried treasure, So just you gotta learn from it. Direction is a key factor in where you need to go in life, and also how to do that physically speaking. And that's the thing. I switch between being fat and skinny because, I like to do that. That way I can fit in with both groups. Because when I'm skinny, then I can fit in with a group in a room filled with fat people. That's just how it is. Well, all right. Another lesson I'll say is you never know how long you're gonna keep a coworker, so you gotta cheer them up. Keep them around, keep them happy. You get a good coworker, treat them good. Remind them, hey, good morning. Hey, how was your weekend? You gotta be extra nice to them because you don't know how long they'll last. That's just how it is. And so, I'll give you an example. One time, my friend at work, I never seen her sad before in my life, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're really sad now. And so I was like, what's going on? What's the matter? And she's telling me, she's like, the other girl, yeah, she screamed at me. She just went off and just really cut me down and hurt my feelings. And I was like, oh, I was like, that's really mean. I was like, so you know what? That's it. I was like, I'm gonna get very subtle revenge. So I told her, I said, hey, you know what I did on your day off? I said, I went over to her part of the workroom. I farted on her favorite chair 3 times. And then, you know that stack of papers that she has, that she's got all that very important stuff to do? I unalphabetized them. So it's going to be like really, really inconvenient for her to figure that stuff out. You know, like you got to stick up for your good coworkers, you know? When you got them, you got to stick up for them. You know, speaking of coworkers, here's another thing I'll definitely say. You know, don't ever assume that your first impression of someone, that don't assume that it's correct, because it's almost never the case. You know, in my experience, that it just isn't the case most of the time. You know, I'll give you an example. Okay, I don't want to say his name. I'll just say Yo. Okay, you know, there's this guy, and man, was he just a mess? Was he just a wreck? You know, we're mailing stuff, we're doing customer service, we're trying to help people out, and then this guy is just making my job difficult. And it's not like he's new, it's not like he just started or something, that's one thing. But he had been here for months, and I'm sitting there doing double the work. It's like, it's really frustrating. Like, I'll give you a few examples. It's like, okay, I go in, I get on my computer, I put my drawer in and my money and stuff, I'm ready to help customers. Okay, and there's another drawer open. Okay, I go away for a second, and I say, hey, I'm alone up here, send help. Okay, they send Yo up there. He goes up there, and he leaves. He says he couldn't get in, and I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't get? It's open. I'm like, it's wide open. So it's like he tried using his own password on my occupied computer. And I'm like, how do you do that? How do you even jump to that idea that you can do that? And it's just stuff like that. It's like really frustrating. It's like, what? Like, what are you doing? It's like, people need help here. You know, it's like that. And then, you know, this is the other thing that gets really annoying is when he talks to people, it's really bad when the start of every sentence is, yeah, even if that's not the answer. If it's a yes or no question, he'll still start it with that. So like, it sucks when I have to hear this all the time. A customer's gonna come over and be like, hey, do I got any, stuff to pick up, sir? And he'll look, and then he'll be like, yeah, no, you don't have anything to pick up. And it's really frustrating. The customer's like, I'm sorry, what? You just said yeah and no, what is it? Yeah, no, we can't do that. We don't have anything for you here. But it's really bad. It's impossible. And it happens so frequently, you wouldn't believe how many times I have to stop what I'm doing to go and help him instead. It's really frustrating. But I'll tell you what, this one took the prize by far. I mean, this was so bad. It's a good thing I was wearing a mask this day, because I was laughing so hard. It was unbelievable. So after a long line, somebody gets up to who I'm calling Yo and says, okay, all right, I'm going to send this package. You know, how much is it going to be or whatever? And Yo did the right thing. He actually told the customer something that they didn't want to hear, which I'm proud of him for, because sometimes we have to do that. It's not fun. You know, and he says, hey, you got this listed on here wrong. You have the to and the from address in the wrong spots. So we need you to fix that because, it's not going to be read correctly and everything. And the guy's like, hey, that's it. This ain't happening. I ain't going back in line. And he's like, and then what does he do? You know, he's still being nice and doing the right thing. Oh, no. You don't have to go back in line. You just have to fix it. Okay. I was surprised he didn't, succumb to the pressure and everything. So he told him, to fix it, right? So the guy fixes it, and then he goes, logs on, and, types in the address and everything. And the guy goes, what? That price is outrageous. He goes, why is it that much? That is insane. How could it be that much? And then he was trying to figure out what was going on. So what does he do? So he was like, well, this is ridiculous. This is a more expensive price than I wanted. This isn't fair, and I shouldn't have to worry about this. This is insane. He's all mad. So he goes back to Yo. Okay, Yo must have been out in La La Land in his head, not paying attention to anything. So as the guy is as mad as can be, he goes, well, I'm not paying this price. That's too much. So what else can we do here? And he goes, oh, no problem, customer. I got this for you. I got this. And he says, all right, do you want to send it for this one? This is a cheaper option. And so I'm thinking, yeah, he must have sent it like a slower rate or whatever. Oh, cool. Okay, does it? All right, gives him his receipt. The guy leaves. He comes back so mad. He budged all the way to the front of the line, looking at his receipt, and he said, hey, sir, to Yo, and he said, why are you sending this to me? He was so mad. He goes, why? Why would you do that? That I don't want it sent to myself, obviously. And Yo had the nerve to tell this guy, didn't you want the cheaper price? Oh my God, that was electrifying. I mean, you should have seen the guy's face. So yeah, he thought, hey, technically it's a cheaper price because you're sending it to yourself and not to, where you actually want to send it a few states away. It's a mess. It's working with him is crazy. So all this stuff is going on. I'm fixing problems with them left and right. I'm seeing him screw up transactions, make customers mad, get bad reviews, get yelled at, and then I have to get pulled into it, the conflict to fix this and to work on that and to help him do this and teach him how to count and do basic math. And I'm not even good at math to begin with. There's all this stuff that I have to do all the time. And one day it hit me, and I realized, oh my God, I think I love him. I don't think I hate him at all. He's actually really entertaining. And I just spent this whole time hating him, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, this is way too entertaining. I don't hate this guy at all. I think he's awesome. He makes my day a lot more entertaining, even though it slows the line down and makes everybody else mad. I'm like laughing all day, So it was really funny until until he got fired. That sucked. But just you learn, you live and you learn. So another lesson I definitely want to put out there, kids, you can grow up to do anything you want, but I kind of disagree if you're a bad kid. I mean, look, I think if you're a bad kid, there's just certain jobs you shouldn't do. I'll give you an example. Me. I should not be an undercover officer of the law. You have no idea the amount of time I would waste with the temptations of stupidity. See, I would totally do this, and I hate to admit this, but it's too tempting. If I was an undercover officer, I would totally go in a bar, and I'd go up to some random guy sitting in the bar, pull my badge on him, maybe flash my weapon. I don't know what I would do, but I would be like, hey, sir, FBI, you've been recruited by me, Special Agent Adam. Now this is very important. All of this is on the line. We have got a wind of certain terrorist operations taking place domestically in this area, so I need you to tell me this very specific information. How many times has that guy over there with the mustache sipped his straw? And totally would not. he would totally be like freaked out and like confused at the same time with how ridiculous my question is. And as soon as he'd tell me something, going against the point of my worthless question, I would totally be like, this is serious, life or death situation. Now, answer right now. Don't got time for this. I would just totally make it worse. And that's just the beginning. I also feel like I would totally find some loophole or some way to walk into like a restaurant and be like, FBI, yep, I need to know the secret ingredient to your sauce. I feel like because of how fat I am, it's dangerous. I feel like I would take the time to study loopholes and to be going through just hours of research and sophisticated documentation of things to find like some way where I could be like, well, this guy got, was found dead in the parking lot near your restaurant somewhere, so I need to know that it wasn't one of these ingredients, so you have to tell me what the ingredients are so I can make sure that wasn't one of them. That's what I'm trying to say is I know well enough I would definitely abuse my power in obnoxious ways. So, no bad kid should have jobs like that. That's definitely a fact. Okay. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah. That's why I didn't do that for sure. And that's the only reason. Anyways. Yeah, another thing that you can learn from me, do not assume the worst. We all do it, okay? We all do it. We always do. But from now on, don't, because I don't, okay? Don't assume the worst. See, like, for one thing, I can never understand medical stuff. I can't. Medical stuff is another language to me. I cannot get it. I'm constantly like, what? Like, what does this mean? What is that? Like, you can't just tell me what's going on medically. You have to really explain it. I just can't learn that stuff. It's ridiculous and it's embarrassing, and it's like, like when my young friend, she had to have her gallbladder removed. Okay, she told me this, and I really freaked out, and I put my head down in shame. I covered my eyes with my hand, and I said, how long do you have to live? Well, I mean, you're laughing, but I'm saying, like, I don't know what a gallbladder is. I don't know what is that like what you have if you have two X chromosomes, so I don't have one? Like, I don't know. I don't know how this works. I have to be taught this. So it's like that's one example, and it's not like that's the only one. I wish. Medical stuff, you can't get me to understand it. It's similar to when a doctor asks me, Adam, do you know how much your cholesterol is? And I say, oh, I have insurance, it's all good. Because I heard much and I assume money. Maybe that wasn't funny, but and I say, okay, so it's not about the money. It says on this paper you just handed me 50. So I have 50 pounds of cholesterol, you're telling me. Yeah, not good. Let's just say things like that don't go over well. And which is why you shouldn't be like me, and you should study things and learn about them instead of spending your whole life ignorant on medical stuff, medical related stuff, and medical fan fiction and all that. I also, it's like, I didn't realize that being an organ donor meant that they want me to die as soon as possible. Like, I mean, you don't think about that. Like, it sounds like a cool thing, and then you realize, oh, they want these. Like, they're actually wanted. But, this is why, like I said, don't assume the worst. That's the lesson here. And the second subcategory lesson after that prerequisite lesson is being optimistic is dumb. But it's a good thing too. Like, if I am an organ donor and I die, my brain will be put to good use for the first time. Man, but being optimistic, it can be kind of dumb. I mean, if you really think about it, why do you even do it? It's like, imagine that there's like at my customer service job, and somebody says, do you know what I hate about your people at your job? And then, someone who's optimistic would be dumb enough to think in their head, oh, maybe they'll say that what they hate about us is nothing because they love us so much. It just doesn't work that way, So that's why I think being optimistic is not smart. I think it's dumb. No offense to myself, but or maybe yes offense. But you can apply optimism to a situation that's understandable. I mean, like, if you had a date set up, because like this happened to me, I had a date set up, I invited my girlfriend at the time to come meet my parents, and my mom is, cooking a large meal and everything, and it's finally set in hours later that I was totally ditched, and it's sad, it's like she was going to meet my parents and then have dinner with us and whatever, and it's like, now it's sad, but I can be optimistic and say, hey, Ma, I get to eat her half too now, and you're not stopping me. I mean, I'm just saying, just that there is always positive ways to look at things, and I think that's a healthy thing to do. That's all I'm saying. So, well, let me say this, okay? Who else, by show of hands, likes to make predictions? Yeah, okay. And how many of you guys have had a prediction that came true? Yes. I know, right? See, me too. I've thought of things that I said, like this is going to happen in the future, and I was totally right. It's like, like the phone is going to be able to do this, the TV is going to be able to do that, there's going to be shoes that do this thing and that and all, and I was right. But then it kind of hits in. See, like, I used to love being like, yes, yay, like I can celebrate, congratulate myself. I was right. I predicted this thing was going to happen, and it did. But now you really think about it, and it's like, well, nowadays, the people that did actually come up with those things and do them are millionaires, and here I've got nothing for it. So it's kind of sad, isn't it? So, but you can, if you want to look at it optimistically, it's like you could say, in a sense, like, you have the same mindset as someone that came up with $1 million ideas. I mean, you got to take your victories when you can, And, here's something along that same subject. Okay, tattoos, all right? Look, I love tattoos. I love them. I love seeing people's tattoos, what they are and everything. Now, I don't have any myself. I'm never going to get it. I don't think it'll happen. Unless, which I'll get to this is one of my predictions. I literally think this prediction is going to come true one day about tattoos. And I'm going to be very shocked if it doesn't happen. But I think it will. See, like, I love going around, seeing people's stuff. And I'll be like, oh, I love that animal. That's really cute. And your other tattoo says, everyone needs to die. Oh, dear. Oh, sorry, I was looking back at the animal tattoo. It was a big furry deer. Yeah. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, geopolitics, right? Oh, no, just kidding. Sorry. But seriously, I do get sad when I see a tattoo of someone's face that died. Because I usually think they're ugly. It's hideous. It's disgusting. It's like toxic to look at. It's like you see the picture of the face tattooed onto somebody, and it's like, this was my grandma. She's dead now. And I look at it and I'm like, yeah, like, was the tattoo like accurately displaying like her corpse after she died? I mean, like, I'm saying, like, some tattoos are just wrong. Like, they look bad. And you wonder why I get scared of the idea of tattoos, But here's the thing. I hate to say this, but with my prediction, I feel like I am going to get a tattoo because of this. You ready? Here's my prediction. I think I'm going to get temptation for a different reason altogether to get a tattoo. Advertisements. Yes, my official prediction. I think that there are going to be advertisements that you can get tattooed on yourself. Yes, I feel that there will be companies that will pay you to put their logo on you. And like, depending on the company itself, the size of the tattoo, where it's going to be visible on your body, self, and whatever, I feel like it's actually going to be a thing. And I feel like I would sell out and do that to myself for money. Like, oh man, I feel like I'm going to get bad. I'll be like really out there. Like, I'll have like this restaurant's logo like on my neck, and then I'll have like my left shoulder will have like this bank's tattoo symbol of their official company thing, and they'll pay me like 12,000, the other one 15,000 or whatever. And then I feel like I'll literally get so bad, I'll like go inside of like another bank or restaurant, and I'll be like, hey you, there's an open spot on this shoulder here with your name on it, or should I say your company on it, and then I make a really creepy wink at them, I mean, yeah, it's sad, but I do feel like that is something that's going to be in our reality. So, just that's my prediction, that I'm just saying. Don't be like hypothetical future me. Don't do it. Don't get tattoos just to get paid money to advertise for companies. Be better than that, okay? Just be better. Be hypothetically better in the future. Another lesson, you're not going to like all your friends. There's one type of friend that I hate. It's the name guy. Oh, I hate that type of friend. I hate him. The one that has to give everybody a stupid nickname, a surname, an alias. They have to change it. It's like, that guy and they don't ever do it to themselves, of course. So it's really contradictory and hypocritical and nuisance of them to do so. It's like, okay, so, oh, hey, your name is Johnny, whatever. Well, your name now is going to be JJ. Hey, what up, JJ? Like, I hate that guy. Why? Just leave my maiden name alone in peace, not in pieces. It's like, Adam, hey, what up, A-Bomb? How you doing, bro? No, don't call me that. Don't do it. My government name is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? It has 4 letters. It doesn't need any more of them. And 2 of them are vowels. Okay, let's not ruin it. You fool. I just get so upset. But they're everywhere. These kind of guys are everywhere. They'll give everybody a nickname. And sometimes nicknames that they give people are bad words. And it's like, you can't, no. It's like, you're not going to like all your friends. That's the lesson that I was trying to teach. Hopefully it got over well. We'll see. But, another thing, this is also another important lesson. Conquer your fears. I'm not saying it's easy. Okay, chill. But you got to do it. And you got to do it right now. No choice. Okay? Conquer your fears. And I think one way to do that is learning about other fears that you don't personally have, such as mine. Yeah, you learn about random fears I'm going to tell you right now, and I think that'll help you with your own fears, because these don't happen to you. Here's a fear of mine. What if bugs could talk? Hold. Really think about that. What if bugs, insects, arachnids, etc., what if they could talk? You know how horrible that would be? That would be terrifying. They're already scary enough. You ever get like a bug crawl across your hand and you're like, ah! You're like shaking your whole body and not just your hand like you were needing to do? You have like a seizure just trying to shake because you're so scared. Well, maybe I'm only describing myself, okay? Maybe you're not scared of bugs, but I certainly am indoors, especially. And it's like, oh, so imagine how much worse it would be. What if they could talk? Okay, imagine you're trying to sleep. You tell me this hasn't happened to you. Trying to sleep, whatever, you're failing to fall asleep. Okay, you look around, and like right next to your lamp, all of a sudden there's like a fly or like a spider or something. Okay, that's already scary enough because now you're like debating like, do I want to go to bed or do I want to kill this bug, which might take a while or whatever, just so I know they don't, try and go poopy in my ear and bite me and take my blood and then, sell my DNA to the CIA or something. Like, whatever, all your fears combined about bugs, probably the same as mine. And you just go, okay, something's got to be done, right? Now, that's already a fear, is my point. But imagine if they could talk. Oh, they're gross enough already. So imagine, okay, same scenario, laying down in bed, trying to sleep, and there's a fly at the lamp. Imagine if all of a sudden you start hearing this, because they start talking in English. Okay, You gotta be very careful. Yep, there's a human over there trying to sleep. Yeah, but this lamp is just beautiful. I'm so glad I found it. I mean, it's bright, it's pretty, dog. I mean, this man, ever since they closed IKEA, like, this is the spot. And then all of a sudden, I stand up and I'm like chasing after them, and then I swing, and as they're like dodging my swings, they're like, let's talk about this. And it's like, can you imagine that? Like, that'd be terrible. Just, like, they're already gross enough. And then imagine, when you do kill them, or step on them, or squish them, or eat them. I don't do that, but, when any of those aforementioned illegal things to do to humans, and you do that, just imagine how gross it would be if they can speak English, and they're like, so much of my life I didn't get to experience. Can you imagine that? That would suck. Like, they're already scary. And just imagine how much worse they would be. Because, all right, change the scenario. Say you're just sitting in your living room, playing around, watching TV, being lazy, whatever. And all of a sudden you hear, okay, we gotta go faster. We don't want them to find us. If we're too spiders in one spot, I don't think we got a chance, lad. He's gonna find us. He's gonna step on us. Can we go somewhere else, lad? Oh, you got a good point there. Yeah, there is lots of trash in this place that we could use. We could use that trash. Oh, it'd be great. I could put up a new spider web, and it's going to have lots of stuff in it, and nothing's going to stop us, lad. Can you just imagine? You're hearing them talk to each other, full English conversations, and they're probably able to articulate stuff better than I can in English. It's like, can you imagine that? They're talking, and you're like, oh God, here I am just trying to watch my show, watch my program, be lazy, whatever, and I'm hearing a full-on conversation in my house by uninvited guests. I mean, this is just, it doesn't get much worse than that. Like, that's horrible, right? So now you can see the point I'm making is all that fear that you don't have to worry about. Because I'm giving you the fear right here. I'm telling you the fear that I have that you don't have to worry about. It's great. It's great. Here's another one, okay? This happened to me once. I know it's not just me. This has happened to all of us. I guarantee this, okay? I'll bet my whole paycheck on this. So have you ever been scared when you're trying to go to sleep at night for whatever reason, okay? And I'm saying for whatever reason because that's vague and that's various and that can mean any number of million different things. Therefore, I'll win my bet and keep my paycheck. Anyway, so it's like you're scared, something's going on. You're paranoid, you're hallucinating, you're having bad thoughts for some reason. You're overstressed, and then it's like someone could be in your house and they could be up to no good, and you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? I need to really hide under this blanket better because I don't want them to see me, because once they see me, then I'm done for. If they don't see me, they can't hurt me, which is like weird late night bed mentality, right? So one night though, it was accelerated. It was worse than normal. I'm literally like, not only am I scared, but I'm hearing this noise I've never heard before. And it was like, and it's not the air conditioning, okay? It's not the furnace. It's not another human snoring, okay? It's not like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, and we don't, like, there's no TVs left on or anything. So I'm so scared, and I hear this noise nonstop. I finally was like, all right, I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to figure this out now, okay? I'm facing my fear. I get off the bed, and I realize exactly what happened. That sound, it's because for some reason, I was sleeping, and my ear was on my dog's butt. I tell you, a dog's butt, at night, I guess, it's really loud and obnoxious. I mean, if you got your ear on it, I don't know. There's something about that. It's so it was so scary. I just couldn't believe it. Like it ruined my night. So that there's, just keep in mind, there's always a possibility that you could be sleeping on something that you don't want to be sleeping on. And that's the other thing when it comes to sleep too. I'm an overactive sleeper. I get more done when I'm sleeping than when I'm awake. I don't know about y'all, but do you ever do that? You ever just you're in your sleep and you're just like kicking and throwing stuff and just moving her all over like just crazy. That's me. So it's like, and then I was talking about this once with somebody. And do you ever like completely hear the wrong thing from someone, but you keep the conversation going anyway? Yeah, somebody I was talking to about that, and they were like, "How do you have such weird sleep?" And they're like, "Yeah, imagination's going crazy," and I'm like, "Hey, don't criticize my country," and they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, you said imagine this nation's going crazy." I'm like, "Yeah, but we're allowed to. That's what gives us the right. Is we're patriotic. We have these beliefs. We have the freedoms. We have the Constitution, the Bill of Rights." And he's like, no, you're completely missing what I'm saying. I said, your imagination's going crazy. And I said, dude, have you studied history? Like, are you really bugging right now? Because like, I can pull this stuff up. This is documented fact. I mean, you're going to go ahead and criticize your country anyway, but I'm thinking that's kind of wrong because you have the right to do that. And he's like, never mind. And it didn't hit me till later. I called him and I was like, oh, you meant when I was overactively sleeping that my imagination's going crazy. That's idiocy 101. But that's what happens when you hear something wrong and you keep talking anyway and assume that you're going to be perfectly fine. Well, I'll tell you what, this is the last fear I have that, again, it scares the crap out of me, and I hope that it's something I never have to experience, but I totally fear it. Okay, what if somebody could perfectly mimic my voice and then use it for evil, right? So like, what if they sounded like this? Hey, my name is Adam. Did you hear how good that impression was? I'll stop doing the impression now, but hey, I'm scared. So like, I'm always afraid of this happening. Someone else can do my voice and they'll use it for their own evil reason, right? So I decided, hey, if that ever happens, I have a backup plan, okay? Just in case, like, hey, worst case scenario, like I'm in a large crowd and I run into that guy that can perfectly mimic my voice, right? And then what if like he finds me and then like he ducks behind me and yells something mean, rotten, insulting, inflammatory, disgusting, or something, with a voice that is mimicked to sound exactly like mine. And then people turn around with anger as he retreats away. So it's like, I'm always worried. I'm like, whoa. Like, I don't know what he would say, but like, what if, like, he's like, oh my God, that guy has my voice. And he's got, it's like perfectly my own voice. So then he comes up, sneaks behind me, and he's like, yells at something just terrible. Like, I don't want to use a word because I don't know which one is like the worst. But what if he's like, I hate blank people. And then he like, hides away, runs away. And then I'm stuck there. And all of a sudden, everybody's looking at me. I'm like, oh my gosh. So this is why I came up with my backup plan. Okay, I established this already in case that were to happen. So I don't have to fear about it all the time, So I decided what I will do if that happens and everybody's angrily looking at me, I'm going to respond and I'm going to say, have you seen that? Oh my gosh, that documentary called I Hate Blank People is really sad and depressing. And I don't recommend watching it at all or looking it up on the internet either. I mean, I'm not saying the idea is like bulletproof, but it's the best thing I can think of, given that fear of that happening, of somebody perfectly mimicking my voice and then saying that evil thing and running away and I get all of the blame for something. that I didn't say or mean. That's why I'm telling you, backup plan. You gotta have it. You have to. So another thing I've learned: don't ever expect anything to turn out perfect. This is key. Okay, this is very important. This might be the linchpin of this whole talk we're having here. This speech, this convo, is don't ever expect anything to turn out perfect. You know, the best example I can think of. Okay, I have successfully trained my big dog to open up any door. Okay, she can see a door even if it's closed. She can jump up, turn the knob, and get it open. Okay, she has no problem doing that. She's very smart, okay? Very smart dog. And then it's funny, see my cat on the other hand, or paw, she's really dumb. I mean, see, if a door is already partially open, she has jumped on it before to push it open, and that makes sense, you know? She's done it a few times, like the bedroom doors open like a few inches, she'll just jump on it, and then the door's open all the way so she can get in. But then she thinks like that applies on other areas, so she'll just find like a wall or like a cupboard or, you know, like a staircase or something. She thinks, oh, I can just jump on that and then it will open somehow. And it never does. It hasn't yet anyway. So it's like, really? But anyways, so my dog now, okay, my dog is really smart, so she can just open up any door. It's no problem at all. Well, one day, my uncle came over to help, and he was helping me put up a drywall. And we were just kind of getting, like, the first set kind of figured out. Like, we were just, like, okay, we're getting the foundation down. We're getting the start of this you know, project going. And I couldn't believe this. So there was a giant thunderstorm going on. And my big dog, the smart one, she's very scared of thunderstorms, right? So, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe my eyes when this happened. The storm came, okay? And my dog was so scared, she ran and jumped through the drywall that we were just starting to put together. It broke, it busted all over the place. My uncle was very mad. He was trying to figure out what in the world was wrong with the dog. And when I started to look around, like, I couldn't figure it out, you know, especially since right next to the drywall that she just jumped through to break, there was an open door. The door was like wide open because it wasn't even installed in the hinges yet. Like, it was wide. She could have came in there, but no, she decided to jump through the drywall and break it open. I mean, my uncle was very confused about that. He was trying to figure it out too. I was trying to figure out what is wrong with her. Like, was there like a bone somewhere that we forgot or something? Was there something in the way of the door? And finally, it hit me. Took a closer look at that drywall, and sure enough, just my luck, there was a big black dot that kind of looked like a doorknob that was on the side of the drywall that we just put up. So literally, my dog thought, oh, this is another door I can open, not knowing it was the drywall. And then she had to break it, and yeah. Yeah, so that project definitely had a weird way to start. You know, it's really unfortunate. Hard work pays off. You know, for the dog, not the drywall. That hard work did not pay off. That was expensive. Well, I guess here's another thing I can teach y'all. Is ways of approaching uncomfortable conversations. Okay? It's very important that you think about this, because we all have these. You know, the one I think of all the time is when you need to call your phone company for customer service because something's wrong with your phone, it's not working, right? So what do? You call them, and with a different phone, obviously, because if you called them with your own phone that wasn't working, then there's no point. Something wrong with you. But no, anyways, so with a separate phone device, you could call them and you'll be freaking out, saying things like, oh, so you can't fix this? I paid good money for this, you know, and you get all mad and then you freak out. And that's how a lot of people handle situations, is you yell at customer service because you're mad that you're not getting what you need out of them and you feel like because you paid good money, you're owed it. You've earned it. Like, you need to get your stuff fixed. And I agree, you do need to get your stuff fixed, but I'm here to tell you there's another way to do it. So, again, taking the conventional way, yelling at them. Like, this is how it would go, like, if I did it in the conventional way, the way I don't recommend. Like, okay, so you can't fix this? I paid good money for this phone. So what happens when I need to use my phone then? I mean, what then? Like, how am I supposed to call the cops? How am I supposed to call my mother? And are you going to be my new therapist? Are you going to tell me why I'm sad? Why I'm unhealthy? Are you going to tell me why I'm stressed out all the time? And are you going to tell me why my jokes don't make anyone laugh? Well, then, see, here's the deal. This is called the Delphi technique. This is what you use, okay? This has existed for a long time, okay? Instead, this is what you do. What you need to do is you gotta talk to them like this, okay? When you call them, you gotta make it seem like you're a sweetheart and it's your own fault, and then they really want to go out of their way to help you. So like, you got to get a really good acting, you got to get a really fake voice and do this, okay? So you call them and they say, welcome to blah, blah, blah company, how can I help you? And then you have to go like this instead. Yeah, my phone that I just bought, it doesn't seem to be working. I mean, it was, but I don't know what I did wrong, what I did to it, but now all of a sudden it seems like it won't work. Is there anything that can be done to help with this? And then they'll start talking, and then what you got to do, as soon as they say something negative, because you've already caught them trapped in the I want to help you phase, once then they say one negative thing, I don't care how small it is, they might say, just a moment, we'll have to reset the connection. You have to go, you have to gasp, just like that. You got to freakishly do it, and then you got to say, well, oh no, did I do something really bad? That sounds bad. And then they're going to cheer you up and say, oh, no, not a problem. That's not a big deal. This isn't hard to do. This isn't hard to fix. So you do that, and believe me, it'll work. The Delphi technique comes in handy, right? You use this with all sorts of, not just customer service and I need you to fix this for me and blah, blah, blah. Use this with all sorts of things. You trap them, you get them in a different state of mind, they are going to want to help you, and they're going to feel bad for you, and then they'll really go out of their way to help you. It's awesome, Like, let's say something doesn't work at your job, like a fax machine or something. Like, so instead of being crabby, you use my technique to talk to people to figure it out. So like, whether it is a fax machine, a sorting machine, or like your gun, whatever it is, use that technique, talk to them, and then, what do you know, it's like, oh, you just have to turn the safety off, and then you're good to go. Yeah, then you won't have any problem at all. You can go ahead and shoot me a fax anytime now that the safety's off the fax machine. It's all good. So it works. It works. This is advice. I'm here to try and help you. That is the point of this discourse. So, well, here's another thing. I'll tell you this, and there really isn't a way to learn this. This is just something you learn on your own. Until now, because I'm so good at this teaching stuff that I'm going to teach you this, then you will unhear the first thing I said, the first sentence of this paragraph. So, you know what is tough? Is trying not to act suspicious when you've clearly done something wrong. I'll give you my best example. Okay, I think, and I strongly think, if you really think about it, what is the most ignored rule or law or whatever in history? I swear, I will bet my paycheck for real this time. I swear the most ignored rule in history is when you get your driver's license and you're supposed to only have one passenger in your car, other passenger, that doesn't have their own driver's license yet, right? That's supposed to be the rule. Well, I think that's the most ignored rule ever, because that never happened. Whenever somebody gets their driver's license, they don't wait the 6 months or year or whatever it is supposed to be. Like they're just immediately like, all right, come on, friends, bros, homies, ladies, whatever. Let's all get in. And, it's like you can right away just, nobody's listening to the roll. They're going to have their whole posse in the car right away. So, I did that. I'm not going to lie. I totally did that. This one time in high school, though, I was on my lunch break, right? And I put a bunch of friends in my car, and none of them had a license yet and everything. So we went out for lunch. Again, this is on the lunch break. And then I got really scared. Okay, my dad called me. And as he was calling me, again, we're out in the car, and I have way too many occupants. And I yelled at everybody. I said, shush, quiet. My dad's calling. I don't want to get in trouble, And so, he was talking to me on the phone, and I was so scared because I knew I was doing something wrong. And he said, hey, son, sounds like you're driving. What are you doing? And I got so scared, and I said, nothing, Dad. I'm just on my lunch, my required lunch break. And I'm driving in my car to get lunch alone, and get some lunch to eat and eat food that I'm going to eat for lunch. And my dad was like, well, don't you have lunch money, son? And see, and yet, here I go. He wasn't even like that. And here I'm thinking that it was like a mean thing on my behalf. And here, all I should have done was like totally just done the right thing. It's been like, Dad, I'm a bad kid. All these other kids here are just in school right now, and they're all up to perfect behavior, and here I am leaving school property on my lunch break. And look, yes, it is as bad as you think it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, Dad. I am driving with more than one occupant. And then it's kind of a relief because I guess apparently all the other things the other kids were doing were a lot worse. So it turned out to be a positive anyway. But it's funny how that happens. Your brain will somehow change something into a negative. But so that one was actually a happy ending. It worked out in my favor, so that was good. But things, you can always be worried about stuff like that. But hey, it worked in my case. But again, that it's the conscience was making it so guilty I couldn't talk normal. Like it just wasn't working at all. But that's okay. Why is that okay? Because it worked out. I got in trouble for something small, something that wasn't a big deal. I wasn't doing illegal substances or anything, and I wasn't doing anything else illegal that was a big illegal deal. So that worked out. In addition to all the other wonderful things I've said tonight, also watch what impression you leave on somebody, especially somebody important, not somebody that doesn't matter, that's insignificant and worthless, but somebody that's actually important. I'll tell you this. I don't know if I should be proud of this or not, but I left a weird impression, a false one, on my own grandmother. When I was seeing my grandmother once, and I miss her a lot, rest in peace, and I don't know, it was just one random day, I just was having some pain, just working really hard and everything. So I just had my hand on my back for just like a moment. And boy, did that just activate her sense of worrisome, because she just kept on telling me within like the whole span of an hour, even though it only happened for like the span of 5 seconds, like, oh, Adam, that back of yours, I'm so sorry. That's really rough. You're in rough shape. I can't believe that you're hurting that much from work. I mean, my goodness, you must have done something really bad to it. and so it became, my weird brain's idea that I should just kind of, keep doing it a lot. So even when my back was perfectly fine, which was every other day since, I had to hold my hand on my back when I saw my grandma again. Because, it was too funny. I mean, I'd have to hide my laugh under my breath. I'd have to, when I'm in the bathroom, I'd let out my laughs and stuff because it was just so funny how she would see me do that, and she would be like, "Oh, there's the old man again," you know. He's always in pain. That back of yours is just in bad shape, and it shouldn't be in that bad shape. You're really young, Adam, and I could not help myself. It was too funny. It was too tempting. It just, every time she saw it, she'd have to shake her head and let me know that that's not okay, and that it's like bad, that's the position I'm in and everything. But not thinking about it until this lesson, came to fruition now that I'm explaining to you all you humans listening, is the impression you leave on someone. Just be careful about it. Because I say all of that to tell you this, okay? When she passed, and that was very sad, that was very rough, and she was working with the hospice team writing some letters, and they were it was so exciting to be able to read them. And part of one of the letters said something along these lines. It said, "Dearest grandson Adam, I love you very much, and you're very smart, and I love your art. What you come up with is so funny, and I just love all of the fun times we have on vacations. I love how excited you get during them. You really know how to make times fun for us. And I love having our little talks and chats when we'd have our coffee, and we'd watch programs together, and we would discuss things about what we were watching. And it was always a fun time. I also thank you for all the wonderful Christmases that you've hosted. You have been so instrumental to giving me the feeling of family together on the holidays. And it has just been a real pleasure to get to see you grow up. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, for the love of God, you need to get your back figured out, because it is in horrible shape for your young age." Now, okay, now you guys are laughing, but what's worse, imagine having read that letter out loud, and then my own mother is asking me, what is wrong with your back? I did no idea there was something wrong with your back, and this whole time, and here Grandma knew it. So just be careful of the impressions you leave on somebody. I did laugh, but looking back at it, maybe I shouldn't have. I mean, it was kind of something. So just keep that in mind, like everything else I said. All right, well, this does have to come to a conclusion. So I just want to say, everybody, I'm sorry. Comedy is supposed to be funny and filled with jokes. I got this mixed up with my AA meeting, and I apologize. Get it? That was a joke, because I never drink alcohol, and I am perfectly behaved. See, I did throw a joke into this after all. The first one. Everything else was 100% factual. No debate at all. So, good night, everyone. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Peace. Bye. Good night. See ya.